was seriously injured with Kayla the day it happened. And the mom is here is going to talk a little bit about the situation, her feelings. I'm sorry, I said Simpson. Did I say that? Simpson. No, I thought I said it. I'm sorry. Mainece Simpson, I'm sorry. Mainece Simpson. It's the first time our family's breaking their silence. It's an important moment for all of us to come together and demand justice for Kayla and Mainece. And there's been a lot of focus on Kayla, but there's also needs to be a focus on Mainece, who's going through a tremendous amount right now. And before I say anything else, I just want to introduce Mainece's mom to come and say a few words. Nicole? Okay, so I'm going to introduce Lauren Razor, who is a spokesperson for the Simpson family, and then she'll bring up Mainece's mom and Mainece's aunt, and I'll say a few words on behalf of Kayla's family after. So, Lauren?
You take it off.
I'm here because I have been supporting the family. They may call me spokesperson, but I'm here to give the family and community support. We have been speaking to the district attorney's office. We have been asking for various services for the family that they're helping with services. Mainece is going through a lot of things psychologically and mentally because of what she witnessed. And we want the VA to know from the mom herself that we're not happy with how they're proceeding, and we want the top charges for Mainece and Kayla, and we want justice. And you know, we're not stuttering here, and we're here to let them know that we want the top charges that can be charged. So I'm going to ask Mainece, Nicole Duncan, who is the mother of Mainece, to say a few words. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Nicole Duncan. I'm Mainece Simpson's mom. As of April 8th, my daughter's life has changed dramatically. She will never be the same again. She's feared to go outside. She has nightmares. She rocks us, she cries herself to sleep. She's mentally destroyed and physically still hurting from her wounds. And besides her being ambushed in a car where she had no way to get it out of, with a child's knife, also adults helping ambush the car. So my daughter is going through a tremendous amount of depression, stress, and her life has changed April 8th for life. I'm worried about her career, that she wants to be a registered nurse, and her and Kayla. And at this point, she's not, you know, into it. And I just feel justice. I don't feel manslaughter because that's murder. And I'm not happy with the charges. Also, I don't accept assault 1. And that's what the district attorneys are going for. And my daughter's only 15 years old and has never been exposed to anything like this. To lose her best friend who died in front of her holding her hand. And I'm here to say my daughter's life has changed forever and I want justice.
I am Nicole Duncan's aunt and Mainece's great aunt. I'm here in support of my niece because the day that I got that call, I just walked in my house and someone says to me, go to the hospital. Mainece and her friend got stabbed. But I put my food in the fridge, and before I can make it to the elevator, they called me and said the friend did not make it. And anxiety went from my toes to the top of my hairline. I got to the hospital, and we could not tell Mainece until she got home, which was several hours that her friend wasn't gone. Mainece is very withdrawn. Mainece is suffering from survivor's guilt. She, you know, the things that she's going through. As I said to another reporter, Mainece's wounds will heal. But what she's going to remember about her friend is for life. I don't feel that, me personally, I'm not a lawyer. Manslaughter is not enough. That was murder. If everybody, I mean, the videos were public. That was murder. I don't like assault. 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5. No, that should have been attempted murder. When you stab someone, you're stabbing to kill. The nurses at the hospital explained to us that by Mainece being a fluffy, a heavy child, that's what cushioned her stabs. So if she was 30 pounds lighter, it would have been a double murder, not manslaughter. And I feel like these charges need to be upgraded. We are not happy with them. You took a child's life. You took a child's life. I am a mother whose child was murdered in Mount Vernon. The day that happened, I had to leave the hospital because everybody was saying, okay, is Mainece okay? I stopped at the hospital. I said, nobody understands what this mother is feeling and going through right now except for me. Her mother hadn't even got the news yet. So this woman's life is forever changed. I talked to Laverne and I said to her, how do you feel about these charges? But as any mother, you are in a zombie state when this kind of news hits you. And I told her, I said, your life is forever changed. It's 6 years for me. I'm still broken. I'm still shattered. And I had to put my son's stuff, me fighting for justice for my son, to the side because I have to be here to support my niece and support Laverne in any way that I can. That is not murder. It's not manslaughter. It's murder. Those videos, I have them all. That's murder. And there was videos showing that you were going to do it the day before. That's why Gramerton Avenue is usually crowded with kids anyway. And Mount Vernon police know this, and they should have police there. I drove through there yesterday. Hundreds of kids, not one police officer present. This is why this kind of stuff happened. This is why this kind of stuff happened. Not one officer present. But videos was up. And these two girls, I talked to my niece. And she told me, she said that, you know, kids go, it's a gathering place. But that day, she said it was just an overabundance. It was like double the kids. So they knew something was wrong. They didn't get out the car. They called their coach. And this girl got into the car stabbing at them with adults standing, watching, egging it on. Adults standing and egging it on. It just baffled me and it hurt so much to see that. If you watch these videos when they do become present, these girls were fighting for their lives. They were fighting for their lives. This is not manslaughter. She came out there to kill. And I'm just very, very upset. I'm upset with these charges, and I hope that they be upgraded.
So, on behalf of Kayla Green's family, City Hall failed Kayla and Mainece. The City School District failed Kayla and Mainece. And we hope the Westchester District Attorney does not fail Kayla and Mainece. We hope that the Westchester County District Attorney avenges Kayla and Mainece by bringing maximum justice to all involved. As you just heard from Nazarene and Nicole and Lauren, in the community, everybody's hurt over this. More importantly, everybody is going to have a hard time healing after this. But a signal must be sent, a strong signal must be sent, that bullying must end, and there are fierce consequences for actions revolving around bullying. This was bullying to the extreme. It was murder. It was premeditated. The evidence that is available shows that. And in this reality type of world where lots of children don't understand that their videos or the things that they're following on social media has real consequences, this is a wake-up call for a lot of our children. We hope that our message and our presence here today encourages the district attorney to go for maximum justice. And we hope that our presence here today reminds City Hall their obligation to keep the people safe. And we hope that our presence here today reminds the school district of their obligation to keep our kids safe. Just because something does not happen on school grounds doesn't mean the school does not have an obligation to get involved, because it impacts them in the school. These are things that we are counting on our school district leaders and our police department to step up and bridge this gap and fix the violent situation that's gripping our streets. With that, we'll take questions about the situation that's unfolding right now behind us in the Westchester County Courthouse.
Heard from the DA about this
But the first thing say Mount Vernon for coming out being supportive. We've had socially distancing. We've had conversations with the ADA that's handling the case. Without going into the full extent of the conversation, we were able to extract certain information. We disagreed with some of their conclusions based on what we've seen, based on all the things that are out there on social media. We believe that the charges may not fit the crime in this situation. We're not asking for cautiousness, we're asking for justice, and the top charges we're looking for, because we have a young woman that didn't survive this. And we cannot condone bullying from adults, from children, from anybody. So thank you.
Was this an ongoing dispute, or had there been other instances of?
So the feud between the groups was going on for quite some time. There's a timeline that suggests it was going on for 2 years. And over a 2-year period, the parents, the coaches got involved. There were attempts to de-escalate the situation through the principal and school administrators. But for some reason, there was never any resolution or follow through on those reports made by the parents, Kayla's parent in specific, as well as, from what I understand, Mainece's mother, who also conducted outreach to try and get the situation, stopped. Right. And the unfortunate part is, the responsibility was not taken as seriously as it should have been, and there needs to be accountability for inaction. And this is what happens when you have unchecked situations get out of control, and you allow or perpetuate this violent culture, which should not be perpetuated. It needs to be stopped. And that's where we're hoping our presence and our stand here together sends a very strong signal to the Westchester County District Attorney, the school district, and City Hall that we got to send a strong signal to all adults and children that are involved in bullying situations, that there are real consequences, especially when a life is lost or one is seriously injured at home. They have to go for maximum justice.
The suspect was also charged with assault for, I guess, the attack on Mainece, which you're asking that to be upgraded to attempted murder.
Murder and attempted murder.
So it's assault.
It's assault currently. And assault is like somebody pushing somebody. But this was, assault was a deadly weapon at the minimum, but not even that has been mentioned. It's unfortunate that that these charges seem to be you know, the approach that's being adopted. I believe that Mount Vernon and the broader community needs a much stronger sense of justice than just assault. This is murder.
Does the girl with the knife have prior, history of weapons? You don't know?
We're not aware of that.
But what we are aware of, there were videos made before the murder took place, and there were other adults involved in making sure that whatever was reflected in that video happened the next day. So this is where it becomes kind of like, how come all the people involved are not being held to account, and how come maximum justice is not being explored?
Yeah, because that's premeditation.
Well, one of the things I just want to comment on, and this is something that Nicole touched upon, is the pressure, the peer pressure in the schools, the peer pressure in the community. Lots of people have things to say, and the quick message, I want to give to the community that's commenting or pressuring Mainece and her family, or Kayla and her family, or even the family of the alleged person that did the attack. Everybody, let's focus on coming together and healing. I know that's not easy for any of the parties involved, but we have to be quiet. In better terms, probably just shut up. Because right now you got a young girl whose life is shattered on both sides. And we need to make sure that we do anything and everything we can to uplift and fix not only the Mainece and her struggles that she's going through, but also the families. This is real pain, this is real trauma. We got to take off these masks and see that these are real people with real feelings that are not going to get any easier over time. There's going to be all sorts of holidays and situations that pop up that they're not going to be able to enjoy the way they used to. So all I can say is, the peer pressure, there needs to be a much stronger community response, school response, city response, district attorney response than what we've seen so far. So my hope is that we can get closure, some justice, but also find some peace. It's going to be a long journey, a hard journey, but that's why I'm here, and I'm going to continue to speak up on behalf of those that need the support and help from those that have the power to help. So, any more questions?
No.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. You want to say Mount Vernon? We got Save Mount Vernon here. We got one more comment.
Good afternoon. Jesse Van Loop, Save Mount Vernon, concerned citizen. Accountability. Again, and again. I can say a million times, Mount Vernon. Murder. You understand what I'm saying? We have to change. It has to stop. We have to hold those accountable. School district. Mount Vernon Police Department. Like they said, there was 2 officers, from what I see in the videos, on duty. They couldn't handle that crowd. Look at the videos, they show you. The presence was not there. A lot of paperwork. Parents complained. Kids getting jumped on. Went to the board. They didn't handle it. Nothing was forwarded to the police department. Board of Education did not get the families together. They didn't settle this. They didn't do it the right way. So are we saying it's going to happen again? Most likely. If we don't come together as a community and hold those accountable that's in charge, that's sitting at the head of the table, hold them responsible to change the outcome of our youth getting killed. That's a change. Remember, you've been out here long enough, but thank you. Save Mount Vernon.
I got one more thing to say.
One more thing.
I understood what Jesse said. We got to hold the parents, we got to hold the school, we got to hold the parents accountable. Parents, I want them to know these kids are not your friends, they're your children. They're your children, they're not your friends. And we have to hold parents accountable because they see what you do and they mimic what you do, especially girls. Girls mimic their mothers. And I know as a parent, no, we can't be with our children every minute, but when they go out that door, but we can pump and pump and pump into their head what's right. What's right. parents have to be held accountable. There was no ambulance. Police cars do not have life-saving equipment in them. They don't. Maybe if there was an ambulance available that could have got there earlier, we may not be having this press conference right now. Them girls had to be picked up off the ground, put in a police car, and driven to the hospital. We got to do better, Mount Vernon. We have to do better. And I hope that the people of Mount Vernon, I hope this be a wake-up call. That child was a baby. These are babies. And what's going to happen if we don't do something now, this is going to continue and the youth are going to become numb. They're going to be numb. This is going to be a regular to them. We don't want to do that. Thank you.
Thank you.